So let's consider a case of how statistics get invalidated and how p-values get invalidated. So think of a situation like this. So you see these three targets, and there's a person who says that they stood 50 meters from the wall of the barn and shot these targets with a pistol. And they hit, for each target, they hit the bullseye, really in the middle. Very nice work. So now we want to know which past actually led to the present where you have these bullseyes. So we call this the Texas marksman fallacy. And if you've never fired a gun, you might be interested to know that hitting any target with a pistol from 50 meters is really, really difficult. So let's consider the situation where there's this marksman, or who calls themselves a marksman, and he's standing 50 meters from the wall of a barn, and he shoots. Bam! There's a hole in the barn, and then he shoots again. Pow! Another hole. Pow! Third hole. Then he picks up a bucket of paint, and he goes to the holes, and he draws the targets. And then he writes a paper where he says that in each of these three experiments or hypotheses were supported. So this is called selective reporting. So you're not actually following, you're not reporting the course of history that took place in the paper. So in this sense, you could have, for example, you could have a research paper which shows that in three trials, you have found this magnificent unintuitive effect, but you fail to say that in 30 other trials, you didn't see that thing. And when you do this, p-value, it no longer means anything. And we'll be talking about solutions in the next lecture. And just a couple of words I promised to say about harking. So it's also called, so this is what's called like hypothesizing after the results are known. So H-A-R-K. And this very deeply relates to the question of how did the present moment come to be? How did a research paper come to be? How did the results come to fruition? And there's a funny story that I had when I was once in a little Christmas party in the Department of Social Psychology in a Finnish university, and I was discussing these things. This was when no one else had actually, no one else was talking about these things back then. So I was one of the first people to bring this up, and we had this discussion. I was telling them about the Texas marksman fallacy and how p-values don't work if you just retrospectively write the paper that, oh, this thing that we were searching for, so this was actually found. And the response from the faculty was, but hey, but that's how we write papers, come on. I was like, okay, maybe we need to change how we write papers. So it's essentially rewriting the history. And yeah, and again, it doesn't, it invalidates your statistics.